Hello, how are you? Hope you are doing good. So let's start with today's topic. The first thing that we'll be doing today is we will just play with the numbers. And what do I mean by that? Let's just start. So, what we are going today is we will simply find out what happens. So these are the objectives. Uh, Objectives are what. So let me just rewrite it in this format. Multiplying two negative numbers or multiplying a positive number with a negative number. So this is the first objective that we are going to do today. So what do I mean by multiplying two negative numbers and multiplying a positive number with a negative number? So, for example, we have a question like this. This is question number one. So the statement is we have to multiply number -3 with -2. So previously, what we have done the addition and the subtraction of the negative numbers. Just for a quick review, I'm going to solve some examples for addition and subtraction of the negative numbers. So here is the first question. Um, First would be like 3 minus 2. So that would be, of course, there would be some answer for this. Then 2 minus 3, then minus 2 minus 3, and finally 3 minus 2 minus 2. So okay, these are okay. Yes, the final would be minus 3 plus 2. So these are the four examples for addition and just to revise the addition and the subtraction of negative numbers. So the answer for this is a simple subtraction question. The answer would be 1. 3 minus 2 would be equal to 1. So there is like no second thought for this. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. What about 2 minus 3? Here in this case, 3 is a larger number, 2 is a smaller number. The smaller number has a positive sign because when there is nothing written, there is a positive sign on default, and 3 has a negative sign. So there are two ways. Either we can draw a number line. We can draw a number line like this, and we can mark 0, -1, 0, -1, -2, and here are 1, 2. So using this number line, we can start from +2 and jump 3 steps to the left side, because so the answer would be -1. So this is the one way of solving this question. The other simpler way is just to like 2 is the smaller number, 3 is the larger number. The larger number has a negative sign. So subtract 2 from 3 and just add a minus or a negative sign with it. So 2 minus 3 would be minus 1. What would be minus 2 minus 3? In this case, as both signs are negative signs, so the best way to do is, so minus 2 minus 3. So first we can do it on the number line. So it would be like minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. So for example, first we can do it on the number line. So if you want to subtract minus 3 from minus 2, what we are going to do is start from this point at minus 2, and as it is minus 3, so we are going to jump 3 steps on the left side. So minus 5 would be the answer. If the question was minus 2 plus 3, minus 2 plus 3 for addition, we would have moved to the right side. So the answer in that case would have been 1. But in this case, the answer is minus 5. So another simpler way to do is just consider minus 2, because if we consider this as plus 2 plus 3, so that would have been equal to plus 5. Or if sometime we just don't want to write the plus sign here, we can simply write it as 2 plus 3. That would have been equal to 5. So in this question, only the signs are changed. The plus signs are changed to the negative signs. So we are subtracting minus 3 from even a smaller number, minus 2. So it would give a more smaller number. Like if we are subtracting 1 from 4, it would give a smaller number than 4. So that would be 3. So if we are subtracting 1 from 1, so it would give a smaller number than 1. So that would be equal to 0. So if we are subtracting 2 from 1, 2 is a bigger number, 1 is a smaller number. So it would be something in the negative. So for example, if we are minus 1 is already a smaller number, it is in the negative side. So if we are subtracting 1 more from it, it would give a more smaller number. So that would be equal to minus 2. So as we go from right to left in the number line, in this direction, the numbers get smaller, and in this direction, numbers get bigger. So minus 2 minus 3 would be equal to minus 5. Finally, minus 3 plus 2. So this is minus 3. And for plus 2, we have to move 2 steps to the right. So the answer would be minus 1. So in this case, minus 3 plus 2 would be equal to minus 1. Or we can say that we can simply subtract 2 from 3 and write the sign of the bigger number. So 3 is the bigger number than 2. So we can write the negative sign from 3 and just simply subtract 3 from 2. So these are some tips and tricks how we can add and subtract the negative numbers. Negative numbers are a little tricky to solve. So, but if we keep practicing, for some more of the questions, we will repeat these exercises in the next classes also about negative numbers. So eventually you will get a good feel for it. So today the main topic is multiplying two negative numbers and multiplying a negative number with a positive number. Uh, let's solve, before this solving this question, let's solve another question that is equal to question number 2, and that is equal to minus 3 multiplied by 2 or minus 2 multiplied by 3. What would be the solution for this? The answer would be same. Let's just see how we can find out the answer for this question. So if the one of the numbers is a negative number and the other number is a positive number, in both cases, this is the same case. Like one of the number is negative number, one is the positive number. This is the second objective that we are going to do in this lecture. So if you want to multiply one negative and one positive number, we can simply just multiply these two. 3 multiplied by 2 would be equal to 6. 3 multiplied by minus 2 would just simply, for some time, just ignore this negative sign and multiply 3 by 2. That would be equal to 6. And if there is one negative sign, like just add one negative sign here in both cases. So these two, the answer for these two is same, minus 6 or negative 6. So in any question, if there is a single negative sign, minus 4 multiplied by 2 or 3 multiplied by minus 2 or minus 2 multiplied by 6, 8 multiplied by minus 3. In all of these cases, only one number is a negative number and the other one is the positive number. So in all of these cases, we can simply multiply the two numbers. 4 multiplied by 2 would be equal to 8. 3 multiplied by 2 would be equal to 6. 2 multiplied by 6 would be equal to 12. And 8 multiplied by 3 would be equal to 24. So in all of these questions, there is a single negative sign with only one number. So we can add one negative sign here. So this is how we can multiply a positive number with a negative number. Let's solve another example for, okay, first let's solve this example. So in this case, when both numbers are negative numbers, like this is minus 3 and this is minus 2, we can use the same technique. Ignore the negative signs for first step, multiply these two numbers. 3 multiplied by 2 would be equal to 6. So there are two negative signs, right? Two negative signs. So this is a general law of mathematics that if if a positive number is multiplied by a positive number, it would be equal to a positive number. If a negative number is multiplied to a positive number, it would be, the result would be in the negative number. If a positive number is multiplied to a negative number, the answer would be a negative number. The final one is a little bit tricky. If a negative number is multiplied by a negative number, the answer would be a positive number. So if two signs are same, in this case, positive is multiplied by the positive number or the negative is multiplied by the negative number, in both cases, the answer would be a positive number. But if a negative number is multiplied by a positive number or positive number is multiplied by a negative number, in both these cases, the answer would be negative number. So in this case, as both of these numbers are negative numbers, so the answer should be a positive number. So if there are two negative signs, this is equal to positive 6. So there is no need to write plus 6. 6, 6 by default means plus 6 if there is no negative 9 written with it. So minus 3 minus 2 would be equal to 6. Let's do some more examples. Minus 1 multiplied by minus 1, minus 2 multiplied by minus 4, minus 5 multiplied by minus 3, minus 10 multiplied by minus 7. So minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 would be like these are the two negative numbers multiplied by each other. So the answer would be just multiply, first of all, multiply these two numbers. 1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1. So the answer would be a positive number. 4 multiplied by 2 would be 8. So there is a negative sign with both of them. So the result would be a positive number. 5 minus 5 multiplied by minus 3 is equal to 15. And minus 10 multiplied by minus 17 is equal to 70. So now that we are able to solve any number related problem, that we can multiply the two negative numbers, we can multiply a positive number with a negative number. So this is the key. If we are multiplying two positive numbers, the answer would always be positive. If we are multiplying two negative numbers, the answer would always be positive again. So if the numbers are different, the answer would be negative. So what would happen if the numbers are increased to 3? Like we were talking about two numbers. What would happen if the number changes to 3? So for example, there are two examples: minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 multiplied by minus 4, and the other example is minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 multiplied by 4. And let's just say that there is another minus 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. So in this case there are three negative numbers. All of the three numbers are negative. In this case there are two negative numbers. In the final case there is just single one uh, negative number. What we can do is simplify all of these statements. For example, multiply 4 by 3, because both of these are positive numbers. So a positive number multiplied by a positive number will be a positive number. So that would be equal to minus 2 multiplied by plus 12. So now there is one negative number, one positive number, one negative number, one positive number. So the answer would be a negative number. So 12 multiplied by 2 would be equal to minus 24. In this case, there are two negative numbers. So minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 would be equal to plus 6, because these two numbers are negative numbers. So when two negative numbers are multiplied, the result is a positive number. So 3 minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 would be 6, and that is equal to 6 multiplied by 4. So that is equal to plus 24. In this case, as all of the three numbers are negative numbers, so don't confuse it with this statement, because this statement says that if a pair of the numbers is negative number, the answer would be a positive number. So this is not a pair, these are three numbers. So we can solve it like this. First of all, multiply minus 2 with minus 3. So this is a negative number, this is a negative number. So two negative numbers, one multiplied, they would give a positive number. So minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 would be equal to 6 multiplied by minus 4. So in this case, now one number is negative, one is positive. So our answer would be minus 24. So in the first case, there was some problem with there was some glitch with the internet, so all of the screen is gone. So in the first case, I wrote three numbers. It was -2 multiplied by -3 multiplied by -4. So in this case, there are three numbers. All of these are negative. So when three negative numbers multiplied, the answer was -24. But when two negative numbers were multiplied, the answer was positive. So we can say that if we just make pair of the numbers, this is a pair. So answer of this pair would be a positive number. But when again multiplied by this single number, the answer would again get to negative. So we can say that negative multiplied by negative number would give a positive number. But if it is again multiplied by negative number, then the answer would be again negative. But if there are four negative numbers, the answer would be positive. So if odd number if odd number of negative numbers are being applied, if odd number of negative numbers are multiplied, the answer would be negative. If even number of negative numbers are multiplied, answer would be a positive number. So this means that odd number means that if a one negative number is multiplied by one positive number, so the answer would be negative. So if three is again an odd number, so if three odd numbers are being if three negative numbers are being multiplied, so the answer would again be a negative number. But in this case, if two negative numbers are being multiplied, the answer would be positive. So in both of these cases, -1 multiplied by -2 multiplied by 3. So there is an even number of negative numbers. The third one is positive, so the answer would again be a positive number. So by using these techniques, we can solve the question for subtracting, adding, and multiplication of the negative numbers. Because the negative numbers can get a little trickier sometimes, so we are going to repeat things as much as we can, so that at the end of the day, we can solve any question regarding to the negative numbers. So that's it for this lecture.